Little girl begged the CEO to borrow a tree for her mom. Watch how 8-year-old Lily's brave wish changed everything. Like, share, and subscribe for more heartwarming stories. So let's begin. On a freezing Christmas Eve in a quiet Ohio town, snow covered the sidewalks like a white blanket. Holiday lights sparkled everywhere, yet 8-year-old Lily Harper felt none of the joy. She stood outside a tall glass building, rubbing her cold hands, staring up at offices glowing warmly inside. Lily's boots were worn, her coat too thin for the weather, but she had walked nearly 2 miles without stopping. At home, her small apartment felt emptier than ever. There was no Christmas tree, no decorations, only her sick mother lying on the couch, pretending to smile. Since Lily's father had passed away 2 years earlier, life had changed completely. Medical bills piled up, rent was always late, and Christmas had slowly become just another painful reminder of what they no longer had. Still, her mother often whispered how much she missed the smell of a real tree. That memory stayed in Lily's heart as she watched well-dressed people leave the building laughing and checking their phones. She felt invisible, like a tiny shadow in the snow. Yet she waited, because she had heard her mom mention the building before, calling it the CEO's office. Daniel Wright, the CEO, was famous across the city. People said he built his empire from nothing, but also that success had made him distant and cold. Lily didn't know any of that. She only knew he was powerful, and powerful people could help, even if only a little. As the large glass doors opened again, Lily noticed a tall man step out, adjusting his coat. He looked tired, his face serious, his phone pressed to his ear. Lily's heart began to race. Fear told her to stay silent, but love for her mother pushed her forward. She took a step closer, her voice barely louder than the falling snow. "Excuse me, sir," she said. Daniel stopped mid-step, surprised someone so small had spoken to him. He looked down, annoyed at first, then confused by the sight of a trembling little girl. Lily swallowed hard, clutching the strap of her small backpack. "I'm sorry to bother you," she whispered, eyes shining. "But my mom is sick and she loves Christmas. We don't have a tree this year, so I was wondering if we could borrow one." The word borrow caught Daniel off guard. He lowered his phone, finally listening. Around them, the city noise faded. Lily continued softly, "Just for tonight. I promise we'll take good care of it and give it back." Daniel felt something tighten in his chest, a feeling he hadn't known in years. He looked at Lily's red cheeks, her shaking hands, and the honesty in her eyes. For the first time that Christmas Eve, he forgot meetings, money, and power, and simply stood there, silent, in the falling snow. Daniel blinked, caught off guard by the courage of the small girl standing in the freezing street. He had always been a man of logic, numbers, and contracts, yet Lily's request stirred something deep within him. Without thinking, he nodded and motioned for her to lead the way. Walking beside Lily, he noticed the way she carefully stepped over icy patches, her small hands tucked into her sleeves. They crossed the silent streets, the city lights reflecting on the snow. Lily's steps grew hesitant as they approached a modest brick building tucked between larger stores. Inside the apartment, the warmth was faint. Sarah Harper sat propped against worn pillows on a faded couch, her eyes widening in shock at the unexpected visitor. I'm sorry," she said softly, embarrassed by the sparse surroundings. "I didn't mean—" Daniel raised a hand, cutting her off gently. "It's all right, I'm here because of her," he said, nodding toward Lily. Sarah blinked, confused, unsure if she should be grateful or alarmed. Lily stepped forward, taking her mother's hand, and whispered, "Please, Mom, it's okay." Daniel left for a few minutes, returning with a large black truck and several assistants carrying a beautiful pine tree, twinkling lights, and boxes of ornaments. The room transformed from cold and lonely to magical. Sarah's eyes filled with tears as she watched Daniel carefully place the tree upright. Lily ran her hands over the branches, the pine scent filling the apartment. Daniel handed over boxes of decorations, allowing Lily to arrange them as she pleased. The little girl moved quickly, laughter escaping her as she draped lights and hung ornaments. Sarah watched, overwhelmed by joy and disbelief. Daniel noticed the worn-out furniture, the sparse kitchen, and the medical bills piled in a corner. Quietly, he instructed his team to leave more than just the tree. Warm blankets, groceries, and a small supply of medicine were delivered, all without a word. He understood that small acts could create big changes. As the evening progressed, Daniel sat with Lily and Sarah, sharing stories about his childhood Christmases. For the first time in years, he felt the warmth of family and simple joy. Lily cuddled close to her mother, the apartment now glowing with laughter and light. Before leaving, Daniel knelt beside Lily. "You don't need to borrow the tree," he said softly. "It's yours now. Merry Christmas." Lily hugged him tightly, her small arms barely reaching around his waist. "Thank you, sir. Thank you so much," she whispered, tears running down her cheeks. In the following weeks, Daniel continued to help Sarah and Lily, paying for medical bills and ensuring a steady income. He visited often, bringing gifts, stories, and laughter. That Christmas Eve remained unforgettable, a reminder that even one brave little voice could touch hearts and change lives forever. The snow outside no longer felt cold, it reflected the warmth inside.